It's a beautiful Friday morning in the city of Lagos, Nigeria. Thanks for joining us in Vanguard Life. My name is Merlake Ademijo. We begin with Vanguard on the paper review this morning. Major leading story says we'll defeat terror, restore order and peace. Defense Minister and NSA says terrorists need to be flushed out. Kuka tells Minister. Choir monarch still with bandits, says community. Five abducted Rivers students regain freedom. Freed five after story. And there's a photo story that was taken at the Amstel Malta legendary Christmas light up ceremony. Appeal court affirms judgment barring VIO from seizing vehicles imposing fines. And on page 8, it says President nominates Ibas, Dambazao 63 others as ambassadors. At Imo Economic Summit, and Digbo most significant stakeholders in the Nigeria project, Tinubu says. Uzodinma opens state to multi-sectoral investment, page 11 as the story. And lastly, on the Vanguard newspaper, banks insurance contributes to economic force 15% to 1.51 trillion naira. Page 20 as the story. Away from the Vanguard into the Punch, major leading story says big diplomatic overhaul. Tinubu 65 envoy picks brace for Senate storm. Ex-Rivers administrator, 30 politicians, others make list, Senate to screen list in 1 week. Page 8 as the story. Nigeria must protect democracy as Sahel faces coup, Ribado says. Petered monthly payout to retirees soared to 1 trillion naira, page 29 as the story. Federal government sets December 20 deadline to pay contractors. VIO urged to Supreme Court after losing vehicle impoundment appeal. Page 41 as the story. And lastly on the Punch newspaper, Senate orders nationwide crackdown as lead poison eats Lagos. You can find that story on our page 8 of the Punch newspaper. Away from the Punch into the Nation, the major leading story. It says economic climate now right, says Edun, Dangote and Uzodima. Arming communities dangerous, Kuka warns, Ribadu will defeat terror. Above the banner says judge turns down request for Kanu's relocation from Sokoto prison. Page 4 as the story. Appeal court seals order from barring VIO from stopping impounding vehicles on highway. Repayment of 185 billion naira gas legacy debts begin. And lastly on the Nation newspaper, PSC kickstart recruitment of 50,000 policemen. You can find that story on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. And lastly, the Guardian is leading with how stigma, poor treatment found in Obu, HIV/AIDS rollback. Page 4 and 5 as the story. Massop decries Igbo politicians silence on Kano's ordeal. Insecurity, Defense Minister vows swift gains as NSA warns enemies. Labour talks tough. Page 6 as the story. You behave more like a political candidate than president. ADC tells Tinubu. Tinubu nominates Ibas, Sulugambari, Bent, Engan, 61 others as ambassador. Reps defer constitution review debate for wider consultation. And lastly on the Guardian newspaper, Nasara to prosecute parents of out-of-school children. You can find that story on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper. And that's all we have for the headlines of the dailies. Join us after the short break for a brief analysis of some of the stories. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Staying in News on My God Life. My name is Marlake Ademichu. Let's move into our first story of the day. Will defeat terror, restore order, peace, the Defense Minister and NSA says. The National Security Advisor, Malam Nuru Ribadu, has warned that any individual or group who attempts to exploit communities, spread rumor, or undermine national securities will face decisive action, promising that the government will defeat the terrorists and restore order in the country. Similarly, the newly sworn-in Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, retired, has assured the Nigerians that he will work and do whatever it takes to ensure that Nigeria is secured, promising that within the shortest possible time, Nigerians will see results. This came as the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Azan Kuka, told the Minister of Defense to flush out terrorists in the country and ensure that normalcy returns. Meanwhile, the kidnapped monarch of Bayagan Ile community in the Felodu local government area of Kwara State, Alhaji Rafiu Salami, is still in captivity of the bandits 5 days after his abduction. However, a spice of good news emerged yesterday as the five kidnapped students of Rivers State University have regained their freedom. The victims studying at the RSU satellite campus in Emua Kingdom, Emua local government area of the state, were kidnapped on Tuesday. Now let's move into our second story of the day. Appeal Court affirms judgment barring VIO from seizing vehicles imposing fines. The court affirmed the judgment that barred the Directorate of Road Traffic Services and vehicle inspector officers from confiscating and imposing fines on motorists. The appellate court, in an unanimous decision by a three-member panel of the justices, said it found no reason to set aside the October 16, 2024 verdict of the Federal High Court in Abuja, which prohibited the VIO from harassing motorists on the road. Consequently, it dismissed as lacking in merit an appeal by the VIO. The lead judgment was read by Justice Oyejoju Oyewumi, recalled that Justice Inkeonye Ma'a of the High Court has declared that no law empowered the VIO to stop, impound, confiscate, seize, or impose fine on motorists for any form of violation. The judgment followed a fundamental right enforced suit marked FCH/ABJ/CS/1695/2023 by public interest lawyer Mr. Abubakar Mashal. The applicant told the court that he was forcefully stopped by VIO officials at Jabi District in Abuja on December 12, 2023, and his vehicle confiscated without any lawful justification. He had prayed the court, among others, to determine if the action of the VIO officials was not wrongly oppressive, unlawful, and a gross violation of his fundamental human rights. While granted the reliefs that were sought by the applicant, Justice Maya specifically restrained the respondents, either through their agents, servants, or their assigns, from impounding and confiscating vehicles or imposing fine on any motorist, as doing so would be wrongful, oppressive, and unlawful. So that'll be all for today. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, and you can also visit us on our website for more interesting stories at www.vanguardngr.com. My name is Malake Ademiji. See you next time.